Pat Soldano, president of Family Enterprise USA. We advocate for multi-generational family businesses and their lifetime of savings at a national level in Washington, D.C. We represent all sizes of business, small, medium, and large, and from all industries. So we are similar to a trade association, but we work on those issues that affect the families of family businesses, tax and economic issues that affect their lives every day. And I'm so pleased to have with me today David Brown, who is a CEO and president of C Mondavi, and he's going to talk to us about the family business that he works for. And David is not a family member, so I think this is going to be a very interesting and helpful perspective. So David, let's start by you just telling us a little bit about the history of the business, the family business, and maybe your involvement.
Absolutely, Pat, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to those listeners who advocate for family businesses. You know, we're a 80-year-old multi-generational, majority women-owned winery, mid-sized, starting in the 1943. You know, our family immigrants from Italy made their way to the States after settling in California, buying our winery, our primary winery, which is Charles Krug here in St. Helena, California. The other key piece I would like to share, Pat, about our family. While our name is quite historic, I'm blessed to represent the Peter Mondavi Senior family of brands with Mark and Peter Jr. as our co-proprietors, stewarding in to the fifth generation now of Mondavis in the wine business.
Well, that's excellent. And can you tell us how you came to be part of this company and the role and what you do kind of day to day?
No, thank you, Pat. So after a 34-year career in progressive roles throughout consumer product goods in the last almost 18 here in the wine business. As president and CEO, I like to say I'm first a steward. I'm steward of our close to 150 plus employees pre-harvest.
Well, so you mentioned Mondavi, the Mondavi name, of course, which is very well known in the wine industry, but I know that that encompasses many other brands and labels because it is a very large company. Could you just share with us so the viewers know some of those brands that you're talking about?
Absolutely, Pat. Our two iconic wines, our CK Mondavi, that is approachable for every consumer who enjoys quality wine that we stand behind. On the top end, we have a brand, Charles Krug, the winery that I stand on, has been around since 1861. And imagine what our country has gone through since that time. As I mentioned earlier in my opening, the Mondavis purchased Charles Krug in 1943. So while 80 years of stewardship of bringing Charles Krug where it is today, we are proud of our history and what our history means and have meant here to the Napa Valley. So Pat, our portfolio has been expanding as of late. I spoke earlier about Charles Krug Winery here, where my office has been around since 1861, and all the amazing things our site has seen. While CK Mondavi is our iconic wine, it's approachable for everyone who loves wine can enjoy. At the top end of our portfolio is Charles Krug Winery. We have over the last 2 years have added wines like French Blue from Bordeaux, Aviana, a brand that gives ode to our matriarch and And as mentioned, majority women owned. So we wanted to make sure Rosa Mondavi and her history of being, a strong, empowered woman, along with her great granddaughters who are active in the business, from winemaking to stewardship and ambassadors. We also have strategic partnerships with one of the more amazing families still based in Italy, the Bolla family, on a brand called Valdo, sparkling wines as well as Prosecco. And then Domaine Peroni is in the Pauillac region of France, and Pascal Peroni, another majority women-owned winery and chateau in the historic Pauillac region, will round out, if you will, our portfolio.
Well, that's very, very helpful and fascinating as well. You had mentioned earlier about employees, and employees are very, very important, obviously, to a business. And you suggested you have approximately 150 employees. What about generations of employees? We find that many family businesses have generations of employees working the business. So, father, son, mother, daughter, grandmother, uncle, aunt, cousin. Do you experience that within C Mondavi as well?
Absolutely, Pat. In fact, we just one of our colleagues who's leading our shipping department is celebrating her 30th year with family. We have our oldest standing, longest standing colleague, as I call him, has been over 50 years. So there are multiple generations that have now followed their father or mother here employment with the Mondavis, and this is an encouragement. As I mentioned, we're in our 5th generation. They're quite young, but the 4th generation is active in the business and following their family's footprint. We love that our associates and our colleagues do the same.
That's very interesting, and always those stories are interesting and inspiring to me personally. So let's follow that up with workforce issues. We are doing a caucus meeting in Washington, D.C. with the Congressional Family Business Caucus that is going to revolve around the workforce issues that family businesses are facing. And we're bringing some employees from those family businesses to talk about that. Maybe you could share with us some of the workforce issues that you deal with day to day at C Mondavi.
Pat, thank you. And I want to thank the Family Enterprise Group for advocating for businesses like ours, and others, large and small. Some of the same issues that we face on workforce issues, I'm sure others. The first, I would just, in general, greater advocacy for the wine industry. We're at the nature of Mother Nature and climate change. The new normal in the Napa Valley is both droughts and fires. When you add those two together for farmers, at the essence of what we are, it creates some of the challenges for attracting and retaining some of the best talent in our industry.
Well, and so how do you deal with attracting and retaining that talent? We hear this from many family business owners. There obviously is skills that you can maybe train them for, maybe you have to have specialized training. How do you handle bringing on new employees in various capacities and then keeping those employees?
Pat, one of the big challenges, or the challenges you just articulated, is exactly what we face. The frequency of bringing on new employees because of some of the challenges in our industry is a repeat hiring training process that exhausts resources, both financial and human resources. As we think about both the farming challenges we have and in our industry in and of itself, whether it's in the vineyards, that in the logistics or shipping department, we've created processes behind our DE&I initiatives. Those initiatives include focusing on, the first 90 days of employment. We're using technology as best as possible to deliver where we can. We're also leveraging industry partners that are collaborating together and partnering with folks like yourself, getting the message out about these challenges for family businesses. We're not unique, whether you're in baking or bakery, and or that as a small owner, or you're a mid-sized winery like us. Some of our challenges are there, and we're just blessed and thankful that there are businesses like yours. There's advocacy groups like yours that are, fighting for the right cause.
Well, thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We believe our work is important as well. And to that note, we work with legislators on a regular basis, 24/7 at a national level in DC. Is there regulations, legislation that you think could be better, that could help you with your business, with your employees, with your family? Or are there regulations that are really good that you appreciate and that have helped you over time?
Pat, like all farmers across America, those things that are preventing us from producing the most optimal product for the American consumers are always top of mind for me. Here in California, whether it's the water usage and some of the restrictions, or even looking at going even further as you think about how climate change is impacting multiple industries. So for us, it's continuing to look at and staying within the guidelines of both state and federal issues that may impact. But greater advocacy is something that from year to year, as Mother Nature controls the quality of the product we puts out, that advocacy and flexibility in that advocacy only helps with reducing some of the legislation and or regulatory issues that we may face.
Okay, well, my last question to you revolves around charitable giving. We have learned that family businesses are very giving, and in fact, 82% of them give locally. So that is a real concern. If the family business has to be sold, let's say to pay the estate tax or for some other reason, that family business goes away, the employees lose their job, the family lose their livelihood. But people forget all that charitable giving that they did for those local communities, local organizations, goes away as well. So can you share with us maybe some of the work that C Mondavi does around charitable giving?
No, absolutely. This is near and dear to my heart as well as the family. While very active in the local community here in St. Helena, whether it's the Boys and Girls Club America that has been a consistent receiver of the family's will, and or partnering with some of the amazing organizations and partners around here, like the Napa Valley Vintners, the Napa Valley Film Festival, which really gives to children in schools and the underprivileged, has been a centerpiece for the Peter Senior Mondavi family, and it all centers around being immigrants here, giving back to their roots. As you start as, our family started as immigrants. The story goes $15 in their pocket when they came to the U.S. started, trying to find their way when they arrived and found a need in 1943. Imagine what was going on in our country with prohibition and everything else, but found a way not only to build a unique family-owned business, but as I mentioned, our matriarch, Rosa, was very active in meals for migrants. There was often times in which she would do the laundry of those workers out in the field, but and that hasn't left the knowledge base of the third generation co-proprietors, our fourth generation, which is active in businesses or our business, and hopefully for generations to come. So our generosity, while I spoke of a few, it continues to stretch, but the desire of our family is that we impact our community no different than we did as the cultural hub here in the Napa Valley.
Well, that is really a fantastic story. Really appreciate you sharing that with us. I want to thank you so much for your time, David, today, and sharing the story of the family business and the family and yourself. It's been a wonderful conversation. Again, thank you so much for being on this call today. We really appreciate it.
Pat, thank you, and for all the work that the Family Enterprise Group does. We, as a recipient from afar for that group, wanted to make sure we express that. So thank you again.
You're very welcome. You have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. You do the same.